All
Okay.
right. Here, really quickly, let me kind of just say hey um, to everybody for like the first 2 seconds here, and then we're going to hand this off to someone who is far more eloquent in every way, shape, and form than I could ever hope to be, which is a good thing for you guys. Trust me on this one.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, there you go. So Ariel is going to be doing the lion's share to the tune of 99.9% of the presentation tonight for many reasons, and the biggest one being that she is phenomenal at doing it. So this is one of those things where the people who do it best need to do it best, and I think you guys are going to have an absolute kick out of this thing. In fact, she'll be going through pretty much, what is it? It's 11, right?
11 sessions we're going to go through. Yeah, not tonight. Not
Right.
tonight. We're not doing 11 tonight.
I hope everyone brought their sleeping bags because we're going
Oh,
to be
yeah.
here all freaking week.
We're doing a marathon.
Totally. Yeah, they just did that with The Godfather the other day. I thought it was awesome.
Oh, Father.
I didn't watch any
Jeez.
of it. I didn't have time.
Oy vey. Oy vey.
Yeah. So anyway, that's your illustrious intro. I feel that I just
Okay.
wanted to kind of like get everybody's framed up because I did the initial webinar, so people are like, "What's this Johnny do?" What's it? So I just wanted to make sure everybody. She is amazing at this. You guys are gonna have it. You guys are gonna learn a ton. It will be a great time, and then I'll be popping in and out periodically here, and then we have Brenda on the other end of this thing, handling all sorts of fun stuff. So you'll be hearing from her too, and it's great. So
Cool.
yeah, without further ado, that's there's your intro. Go kick it off.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this first session of the webinar series that we're giving on how to leverage your mailing list and sell books. Let me give a quick intro to Brenda. Brenda is my right-hand gal. I've kind of turned out to be Johnny's right-hand gal, and Brenda has turned out to be mine. I could not do this job without her. She's the one who's been helping out with doing exports and proofing giveaways, and just I'm flabbergasted at how amazingly she's picked things up and helped us get into a groove. So without her and our gal who does our giveaways for us and sets them up for us now, Michelle in Ireland, it's been an awesome team. So thank you, Brenda, for being the amazing person that you are.
Thank you. I couldn't do it without you.
Well, she is an author, so she feels our pain. And just give you a very brief overview of my experience. I have been an author in one form or another for about 20 years. I've worked in and out of the corporate district, which allows me to do all this. I've been a trainer for 25 years on and off, training anything from knitting classes all the way up to software training and woodworking. So I've done training is just something I love to do. So that's kind of where my experience comes from. I've been an editor at 2 small presses, and I've also been a cover artist. So I've kind of done the gambit in the publishing industry, and Johnny has taught me a ton of stuff since I met him back in 2013. And that's kind of what I'm presenting here today is everything that we've learned. And the one thing that Johnny introduced to me when I first started was mailing lists. And I did like everybody else did. And I went, oh my God, I don't want to do a mailing list. I can't think of what am I going to put in my newsletters. I have no idea what to do. Why the heck do I need to build a mailing list? So that's what this whole series is going to go on. We have a ton of material to cover in a very short period of time. I'm going to ask you to please hold your questions until the end, or you can submit them through the question panel, and either I or, well, actually, we've just figured out Johnny is the one that's going to be answering them at the end. He'll probably throw some questions at us as we go along, too, if there's some things that need to be handled right there at the moment. So if there's something that you didn't understand, you need me to stop and review something, let him know, and we'll go from there, okay? All right, so I'm going to turn this over to Johnny now so he can catch you up on what's been cooking over here at APR. Here's Johnny.
All right. Well, thank you. Well, first of all, everybody here tonight, awesome to have you. Really appreciate you taking the time to come out and so that we could show this to you because I know your time's valuable and whatnot. So I wanted to give you a brief bird's eye overview of what's going on here and kind of encapsulate everything that's going to happen in this webinar as well as the ones coming up. And Ariel's going to talk all about those in just a second. But what we're doing here, this is a follow-up webinar that you're on right now to the first one that we did. So if you did not see that first one, that was all about how to get people to come to you. Obviously, we have a service that does that for you and whatnot. And in fact, we've one of the cool things that we're doing is it's almost sort of celebrating the success of this that we've been able to have with all of these authors. We've helped 470 authors, and we've been able to deliver in just literally a few months over 611,000 subscribers for authors. And so what we're doing here is we've delivered thousands and thousands of subscribers to our APR clients. And the biggest question that we had from every single one of them, it usually began with fist bumping, yes, this is awesome. And then immediately was like, ooh, but we don't know what to do with them. How do we turn these subscribers into readers? How do we turn the readers into buyers? How do we turn the buyers into reviewers? And all of that process. And so that's what we're doing here, because then the follow-up question was, am I mailing too much? Am I mailing too little? What's the best way to do it? Should I sell them a book? Should I not sell them a book? We want to make sure that we cover all of those bases for everybody. So as we continue to deliver thousands of subscribers, this, to you and to the APR clients, this is how we're going to help you solve that problem, by giving you exactly the step-by-step process on what to do. So it's just been absolutely amazing. You guys have been wonderful as we have built this out. We are now absolutely firmly established. This was so cool. I know that in the very zygote few months, it was sort of a pardon my dust kind of minute. But then now it's just exploded. And you're going to see some statistics in a little bit. Ariel's going to take you through it. But I just wanted to show you that the engagement that we're getting from the readers that we've been bringing you has been off the charts. Industry standards have been in the 20% in terms of open rates for emails. Ours have been hovering between 45 all the way up to 89.1% open rates. It has been insane. On top of that, obviously you know that we began with paranormal romance because of I Love Vampire Novels and that book discovery site. We were already reaching 3.1 million readers just with that ecosystem. And so we started there, but now within a few short months, we have literally been able to effectively branch into almost every genre of fiction out there. The one we're just not doing yet are children's books, obviously. So, if you have lots of people write multiple genres. So if you do have children's books, we'll let you know when that's coming up and we can plug you in and stuff like that. And like I said, we're now teaching, you folks how to manage these people that we're giving you. How do you set up these systems? How do you create this automation? And this is something that, is just included with with what we're doing for you every month anyway. First of all, as a way to say thank you, but also because this is the biggest question you had. And it's awesome. We're super excited, especially to release the affordable ads included Author Elite budget program. Super awesome stuff here. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you a big overview of what's been happening in the background, that this has evolved and this is growing, and this has been ridiculously effective. And I'm very, very happy, and thank you so much for being a part of it. And so as we get closer to reaching that 1,000 authors, we're going to continue to really start giving you more and more and more stuff that's going to be more and more helpful to you and help you really transform these subscribers into book buyers. That's the entire goal behind everything we're doing. So thank you so much. That's it for the overview. Let's get back to the show.
So as Johnny said, one of the main reasons we're holding these webinars is to help authors achieve their dreams. And the biggest request that we hear from authors today is, can you help me build my author platform and email list so I can sell more books? And why do we authors want to do that? So we can finally make a living at doing what we love to do. Who doesn't like to do that, right? I mean, it's a dream job. And we all know it's possible. We know and we hear about dozens of authors doing it every day. So why can't we? Well, you can, okay? Author platform to the rescue. This is where Johnny comes into the picture, okay? I love this picture. This kid is so cute. Johnny picked this out. We authors, he goes into the sky. We authors have or would like to have the bumper sticker that says, I'd rather be writing, okay? His bumper sticker says, I'd rather be marketing. He loves to do this stuff, and I will pause a moment while you all puke into the nearest wastebasket. It is just not in the DNA of authors to do marketing. That's not what we do. And what makes Johnny the guy who can swoop in and do this for us is the fact that he is a reader and an author. So he's not only our best champion, he gets us. He knows what it takes to publish a book and get it out there, and he has a heart for what we do. That's one of the reasons why Johnny and I became friends, because I saw where his heart was and what he was doing, and I said, I want to be a part of this. So that's kind of where all this wound up going from 3 years ago. As he says, building audiences is his stupid human trick. That's what he does best. So even though we're going to let him bring the audiences to you through the giveaways, which we have done, we still can't sell your books for you. And that's why we're holding these webinars. Now, having your mailing list is only the first step. You need to reach out to those subscribers by being yourself, talking about what you love about your books and your characters. And that's why this course is all a part of your giveaway package. You need to know how to use that mailing list to your advantage and do it in a way that is effective and not spammy. So this is how we're going to empower you. We have 11 sessions planned, and this entire course is geared toward not only showing you how to market your books better, but also show you how to set a system up that will practically sell your books for you while you write. We're going to talk about things like book funnels and give you effective tips on what a call to action really is and what it does. We'll show you how to increase open rates, click rates, sell-through rates, and all those other confusing, obscure marketing terms and what they all mean. All right? So session 1, which is today, I'm already giving you the overview now, but at the end of today's session, I'm going to show you a workflow of a buying process that will help you set up the giveaways in partnership with your books to sell more books. Your books and your mailing list will be selling your books for you, and that's just the beginning. Oops, I didn't click right. In session 2, we'll discuss the important features you'll need from a mailing list service that will help you automate your drip campaign, or what we prefer to call your personal reader campaign. And we'll discuss the importance of having a mailing list service and why those features are so important. I've been testing a ton of services out there, so I can give you some recommendations and help you avoid the ones that don't provide what you need. I've also been keeping a budget in mind, so I hope we can save you some money while those services are still effective. But keep in mind, one of the best investments that you can make is making sure that you've maintained your mailing list and have that automated for you. The more automated it is, the easier this is going to get. For session 3, we're going to give you tips on creating subject lines that will get readers to open your newsletters. They can't read them if they don't have something enticing them to open up the message, right? And we'll give you techniques on how to create engaging content that will not only let your personality shine, but it will also be focused and impactful and drive your readers to buy your books. The biggest complaint we hear from authors is they don't know what to say in their newsletters. And now we're encouraging people to send out messages every week. And yes, I said every week. Once you're done attending session 4, coming up with ideas for content will be a breeze. You might actually be surprised that you'll have more content than you know what to do with. If you don't see how that's possible, attend session 4 and you'll find out. We have a ton of mistakes that we've seen authors, bloggers, and blog tour hosts are doing, and they don't even know they're doing it. Session 5 is going to correct all that by showing you effective marketing techniques and introduce you to tools that will not only increase your sales, but they'll save you money as well. So you definitely want to attend that class. All right. So in session 4, we're going to teach you how to draft a plan for your personal reader campaign. And in session 5, we'll be giving you more techniques to use on your PRC, or your personal reader campaign. During that time, between session 4 and 6, we're going to give you homework. We want you to be drafting that plan and using what you've been taught. Because in session 6, we're going to dive into the actual workflow of how to put that plan into action with automation by demonstrating how to set up the drip campaigns. Now, these drip campaigns it's these drip campaigns that will allow you to set up weekly messages automatically based on when somebody enrolls on your list. Once you've set those messages up, you won't have to worry about it anymore. And that's how your mailing list will automatically sell your books for you. Automation is your friend. Automation is a beautiful thing. All right. So in session 7, we're going to help you tweak your campaign messages by showing you how to engage with your subscribers and not sound like a spam bot. If all your messages sound like a parrot, buy my book, buy my book, people are going to unsubscribe faster than you can say Jack Sparrow. We're going to teach you some awesome tools that will be automatic, but will also win the hearts of your readers with the personalized messages and one-off broadcast messages. Another problem that we're going to help authors tackle in session 8 is how to build a review team. And you'll be using your mailing list to do it. Wouldn't it be nice to have a team of people posting reviews the first week of your new release? or build up those reviews for the books you already have out. I don't know about you, but I have personally received at least 5 emails a week over the last several months of authors saying, hi, I noticed that you did, excuse me, let me do it in a little bit more whiny voice. Hi, I noticed that you did a review on this book here, and I was wondering if you would review my book too. Now, if that wasn't annoying, I can make it more annoying, but yeah, that's about how those emails come across. Not only is it tacky, but they didn't even do the research to find out I was an author too. Like I've got time to read books and review them all the time. Okay, that's a horrible approach. All right, so please do not do that. We're going to show you how to use your mailing list to build a review team. All right. So throughout the webinar series, we're going to be discussing. And let me see. Oh, and by the way, on that review team thing, I'm going to be showing you step-by-step. It's going to be a step-by-step class with loads of suggestions and other workflows. Okay, so through the webinar series, we'll be discussing and mentioning a ton of long-term and short-term strategies. So in session 9, we're going to wrap up how all of this comes together to create a cohesive long-term marketing plan that will be the engine that keeps chugging along and making money for you while you sit back and enjoy the ride. And what I mean by enjoy the ride is your books are going to be selling for you and you're going to be able to write. Okay, with granted, everybody has a little bit of maintenance they always need to do on their marketing plan. There's things you're going to have to touch base with, but we're going to make this whole process a lot easier, so it will, I mean, it'll free up a ton of time for you to be writing instead of running around there trying to market your books. All right, in session 10, we're going to drill down to a little more about how we tweak your books to not only take advantage of your giveaways, but create evergreen links so you aren't having to reconfigure and upload your books, but ensure your books are packaged in the best way possible to maximize reader engagement. Now, there will be tips for self-published and traditionally published authors alike. I know there are authors out there that go, I have no control over what's in my book. It's all up to my publisher. So we're still going to talk about things that you can do to help make that process a little better. All right? And finally, in session 11, we're going to show you how to put all of these skills into play when you launch a new release, leveraging both your giveaway and your mailing list to do it. All right, now I hope you're as excited about all this stuff that we're going to be teaching as much as we are. Just to remind you, this course is part of what you're already paying for with your monthly subscription. So during this webinar, we're not going to tease you with tidbits of promises and then pressure you into buying the courses that I've listed above. All 11 of these sessions are in your package. And I want to thank all of you for being so patient while Johnny, Brenda, and I were ironing out a lot of what was going to be put into this course. This started out as a 5-session course, then went to 8 sessions, then it went to 9, then it went to 10, then it went to 11. And, you know, it was always this, we got to put this in there, we got to put that in there, and we had to reorganize and everything. So we wanted to make sure we gave you a complete package, or at least as complete as we can give it to you right now. Okay, so thank you so much for your patience. And we'll be giving you all the complete information, not trying to upsell you to get the real secret behind the class. All right, so we want to encourage you to attend all of these sessions so you get the full benefit of your giveaway program. I don't want you to feel like you're afraid that, oh God, if I go to another session, at the end they're going to go, and now you can get this whole course for $675 normally, but we're going to sell it to you for $595. Okay, we're not going to do crap like that. What you see is what you get. We're going to be sharing a lot of external tools too and resources, and we're going to demonstrate how to work smarter instead of harder. I will pause for a moment. Any questions at this time?
Oh, good question here, actually. Normally I would save these things to the end. Sasha's asking, when will the sessions be? Every week, 2 weeks, every month, every 6 years, and are they being recorded? If I miss one, will I be beaten within an inch of my life, or will everything be just okay and I can close my eyes and go to sleep before Freddy Krueger gets me? That's verbatim, by the way. That was verbatim.
Sasha, I love you. And that is Sasha White, probably, right? Is that who that was?
That is.
Yes. She is a last-minute attendee, and she was the one who was asking for help on Facebook because I didn't give her all the information she needed. So thank you, Sasha, for attending. I'm so happy to see you here. Yes, the answer to that question is every Tuesday night, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Central Time. We're trying to get these within an hour, but it's probably going to be more like an hour and a half, and we're going to leave the last half hour open for questions, okay? So a couple of questions like this. Anything else?
All right, let's see here. I'm going to mispronounce her name. Mateni, is that right? I have about 12,000 on my list. Thank you. I love vampires for most of that. How big does a list have to be to begin with this?
Actually going to be talking about a lot of that stuff during the entire course, but just to let you know, you can start out with 0.
Perfect.
You can actually start out with 0 to do this, okay?
All right. It was hilarious. I literally blinked and all these questions hit. Let me see if there's some of these we might be. Oh, this is actually a great question. Are you going to make these slide decks available in PDF form so they can?
We can, absolutely.
Let's do that.
And that's an easy thing to do, so we'll go ahead and include that information. Also, I didn't finish answering Sasha's question. She wanted to know if she misses any of them, will they be recorded? The answer to that is yes. So we do want to encourage attendance. At a bare minimum, you need to register. You need to register, okay? So we had we just had a lot of people sign up for these, and that's great. So we want to get a good idea as to how many people are attending. So make sure that you definitely respond, or you're not going to get the, that you want to register, or you're not going to get the link to the follow-up recording. Okay? So definitely make sure you register.
There you go.
Okay?
Honestly, I think we're good to go. So let's punch.
All right.
And it's Mary Ann,
right.
she said. Perfect. Thank you.
Before we go any further, I need to check in with all of you about your expectations, just to be sure we're all on the same page. Johnny, get ready with that poll number 1. So let's take a poll. I said poll. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Brown chicken, brown cow. Okay. I need to know, what were you expecting to happen during the giveaways? When you purchased your first giveaway, what were you expecting? Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so we got a lot of things across the board here, okay? And I'm glad to see what your expectations were to build my mailing list, which is definitely a good thing, okay? Yes, you can see spikes in sales and more visits on your website. Go ahead and run poll number 2.
All right, hold on a second. So I gotta
and I know this might be a little bit of a no-brainer.
That is what is the main purpose of the giveaway?
Right. What is the main purpose of the giveaway? Poll number 2. All right. Very, very good. Okay. Build my mailing list is the correct answer. Okay. Although all of these things can happen during the giveaways. You may indeed see spikes in your sales and some trickle over signups to your newsletter. And you may even see traffic on your website, because we usually link your website on the giveaways. Those are not the primary purpose of the giveaway. In fact, promoting your books is not the primary purpose of these giveaways. And I know that sounds weird, but this session will explain exactly what we mean by this and show you the best way to use this tool to your advantage, right? So you got to use the right tool for the right job. Going into these giveaways with the proper expectations will help you focus your goals on what's important, which is building your list. Now, let's talk about how we usually work harder instead of smarter. Johnny, you close the poll. Okay, great. All right. Most authors are under the impression that the more you post cover reveals and the sales blasts and the tweet campaigns and ask everybody to share your posts on your new release and all that kind of stuff, that this is going to help you get the word out and sell your books. Now, that's not to say that these efforts won't sell any books. These tactics can help a little. But a lot of these particular efforts fall into what's called the 80-20 rule. Due to the nature of how sales works, efforts like this take 80% of your time and energy, but only net you about 20% or even less of a return on those investments. Wouldn't you rather spend 20% of your time and get an 80% return for your efforts? Well, that's what a mailing list does. A mailing list helps you build an audience, and it is bar none and by far one of those tasks where you put in 20% effort and you'll get an 80% return, meaning you get a lot more bang for your buck when you have a waiting audience of readers eager to snatch up your next release. And the effects of your mailing list trickle over into a lot of other areas as well. So any other efforts you do in marketing, your mailing list will actually help you boost. So that's what all the well-known authors out there have. They have an audience waiting to purchase their next book. However, we new authors who are not yet established, and we don't have an audience. As a matter of fact, what you see here is what most authors' reader bases look like when they first start out. It's an empty theater. We have this field of dreams mentality. Build it and they will come. Publish the book and it will sell. Unfortunately, that's not realistic. So let's talk about the reality of sales. And this is across the board with most authors before they build a consistent customer base. Each one of us saw the success stories of authors booking these authors' books taking off, and sometimes seemingly overnight. It was encouraging until we tried to do it. Now, based on the experiences of those golden children, we developed a misconception that if our book just made it to the top 100 of Amazon's overall list and the genre list, we'd get more exposure and then our sales would start climbing all on their own. So we ran ad after ad whenever we had a new release, hoping to get into the high rankings, and we were expecting that the customers would do the rest. The truth, however, is that ads will only get you spikes. And I'm not sure, well, actually, I'm sure a lot of you are groaning now because you recognize this line chart. Obviously, each of those spikes are either when a few copies sold and the book shot up the charts, or because it would, because it was so low in the rankings that it didn't take much to boost the graph, or this is when an ad or a promotion kicked in. Now, again, it's not to say that ads don't work, and I'm not saying give up on ads. However, depending on them solely for a source of income will get you these results on the right. What you want to see is what's on the left. A combination of building your audience and some ads to boost exposure is a good strategy. They support each other. So what do we need to do to have the first graph be a reality and not the second? We need to fill those empty seats. So first and foremost, we must build our audience. We all fall into the category of a small business venture. And as such, we have to do what every other small business does. Build an audience, aka build our mailing list. Johnny's been pounding into my head that we authors are not in the business of selling books. Let me say that again. Authors are not in the business of selling books. I know, I looked at him like he had 15 heads too. He says we're in the business of building an audience. Most retail businesses are. We build an audience to sell our products, which are our books. But that's the problem, isn't it? How do we get the readers to come to us? Well, one thing we need to do is stand out. Readers have thousands of authors and millions of books to choose from. So how do we do that? Before we go on to the secret of how we do that, let's talk about what not to do. All right, so the mistake that we authors make at the beginning of our journey is instead of letting the readers come to us, we are going to the readers. We figured that if we went where the readers were gathering, we could show them our books and they would buy them. Yay, we're going to sell books, we thought. So this was us. So we flocked to the places where, like Goodreads groups, Facebook parties, any book release parties, online events, author takeovers, conventions, everywhere we could find readers, and we ran all over the place trying to go, oh, look at my books, look at my books. And we figured that if we gave away a ton of stuff, that the readers would love us and start reading and buying our books. Now, though we've grasped the concept on a basic level, we're actually still going about it wrong. So yes, we do need to go to the readers, but we need to take a different approach. Let's be completely honest with ourselves. This is what we authors see whenever we see readers, right? Now, it's not to say that we don't care about our readers, but those forums or group rules that forbid authors from posting promos about their books weren't just created because moderators are control freaks or have power trips. Well, some of them might. But it's pretty consistent across the board that reader groups have restrictions about authors making those kind of posts. Why? Because authors are constantly posting those endless, spammy, buy my book ads, okay? So we've all done it. And at the beginning it worked, which is why we authors kept doing it. However, it's now to the point where it's overdone. Readers don't want to see those posts anymore. So much so that this is how readers see authors now. And I'll wait till the slide comes up. Yes, I'm sure you've guessed that that poor guy in the front of the crowd is a reader, okay? And this is what we look like to readers now. I've talked to lots of readers, and they're going, yes, yes, this is what I feel like. Authors coming at them in hordes going, buy my book. But I think of Emotep on Mummy. Emotep, buy my book. Okay. All right. Pole dancing time. I need you to think back. So, Johnny, you're going to run the next poll for me, okay? Was it specifically that made you want to read that first book of your favorite author? Okay? Think about that. When you became a reader, I don't know a single author who didn't love to read before they became an author. In fact, reading is what drove us to become writers. So think about who your favorite author is. Think of the series of the books you fell in love with and couldn't wait to get in line for that next book. Are the polls in? And recommendation can mean like even seeing something on a TV show, you know? Right. Look at that. Nobody answered billboard, television, or bus train ad. Nobody answered social media, right? And what are some of the, please share in the comments there, Johnny, what are some of the stuff that came through in regards to what other reasons were people got into an author?
Let's see. Karen, I'm not quite sure what you're saying on that one. Something about a cow writing a book? I'm a little confused. If you could maybe clarify for just a second. Annie was saying a blurb on Amazon. There was another one that was school, Mr. Vincent. I was 9 and wanted to spend my allowance money, a book with something with dragons. That's perfect. You know what's funny is I had much the same way when I got my allowance money. My dad would take me to this used bookstore, and I would just go into like the sci-fi and the horror section and just buy everything I could possibly find.
Right. And what attracted you was the cover, and if it wasn't the cover, it was what the book was about, the back of the book blurb, which I should have included in that poll, the cover and or the book blurb, right? So it's not these ads. These ads are not effective, as we can see just from the whole reason why we became authors, you know, being readers. All right, so go ahead and run the second poll. In this one, I want you to tell me what made you keep reading their books. And this one's going to be pretty obvious, too.
Totally.
And it was kind of meant to be that way, because this is the whole point of why we're taking the wrong approach.
All right, share results. Look at this.
Note to self. Right. Those top two, I totally expected would be 100% of the responses, right? Their characters, their worlds, their stories. Truth. And don't take this personally. Readers don't become fans because of who we are and what we do. Okay? They fall in love with us through the stories that we craft. We are the gateway to what they want. They love us only because they fell in love with our stories first, because we take them somewhere else in their minds, because we stirred their emotions. Imagine the power of our words, to be able to cause someone to laugh or cry or throw a book across the room because they were so angry, all from reading the words we wrote. Everything we talk about in this course will help you use that power to build relationships with your new fans and doing what you love to do to begin with. I don't know about you, but I got excited once I figured out this was the approach, because then I go, oh good, now I don't have to do ads. I don't have to try to sell anything. All I have to do is talk about what I love to do. I just have to be myself. And that's the approach that we're going to be teaching you here, okay? For those of you who were able to attend one of Johnny's seminars where he talked about this, you might remember his rather humorous analogy of showering in front of the Denny's. People on social media are vastly strangers. So posting your buy my book ads is very much like showering in front of the Denny's. People don't want to see that. Okay? It's a rather horrific image for some people. Okay? So what I want to call to your attention about this, and I would, Johnny, if you want to do an insert on that one in regards to what you meant by the showering in front of the Denny's being an outer circle of influence.
Yeah, so let me give you just, if you weren't there for the first webinar, so by the way, this everything you're seeing right now is kind of like webinar number 2 after that one. So if you did not see that one, please let us know, and I'll actually include a YouTube link when I send the replay for this one. But anyway, yeah, so showering outside of the Denny's, basically there's inside and there's outside marketing, and I'll just touch on this stuff really briefly. You want to picture a bubble around yourself, and everybody outside of that bubble has no idea who you are. They're probably someone that likes the genre. They're probably someone that's a reader, that kind of stuff. We'll just begin with that basics. Everybody inside the bubble, those are the people who have raised their hand at least on some kind of level and have said, you know what, I'm interested in getting to know more about your books. Well, let's do the showering analogy here. When it comes to marketing, the cover reveals, all these different kinds of things that a lot of you folks are doing to promote yourselves, blog tours, all these things. What you're doing is you're doing the right actions, but you're doing them in the wrong place. Just like if you were to shower, it has been, sociologically, everyone loves it, that you shower in your own home. That way nobody stinks. You live longer. It's a beautiful thing. There's not a single living person that I can think of that would raise their hand and go, no, because it's a good idea. It's a wonderful thing to shower in your home. But if you take that same action and now you go and you stand outside of a Denny's at like the Mall of America and you soap up, now you've gone from being hygienic and socially conscious. Now you're a pervert. And that's not good. Like that's the difference. If you take the right action in the wrong place, it completely changes the nature of the entire situation, and it can really ruin you. And what I like to see it's so humorous because a lot of authors, because I kind of lurk in many marketing author groups. I see this constantly. People will pop in and out, and all of a sudden like 12, 14 days have gone by and someone will come back and, oh, my ban on Facebook is up. That's a good sign that you're showering outside of a Denny's, because it's like the mall cops are chasing you off. So if you're getting banned, from your social media properties for any length of time due to overposting or spam, or you're getting those those social media police warning kind of things, that is an indicator that you're not doing it the right way. And so that's what we're talking about here, is taking the right actions in the right place. And that's why we have the mailing list, and that's why we do it like this. That's why we engage in this process of introducing this stuff to people through this a very easy kind of thing. And Ariel's going to take it back from here. But hopefully that made sense to everybody. Please don't be Denny's showers.
So that's your outer circle that he's talking about, right? So the people who signed up for your giveaway are closer to you than those strangers on social media. Those new subscribers through your giveaways are at the edge of what we call your inner circle. And this is the priceless gift of your mailing list. These are the people who have already shown an interest in your books and what you have to offer. They are like gold to you, and you should treat them as such. Now let me show you why marketing to these people is so much better than trying to get a mass of strangers to buy your books. We're going to go over something here, and I'm going to show you some rather startling statistics that some people may have seen in one of the other presentations we did of social media and its effectiveness or lack of effectiveness versus your mailing list. Now look at some of these numbers here. All right. There are 1 billion active users on Facebook and 255 million on Twitter. Can you guys see that? It's not working.
Hasn't quite come up yet. There it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, it went backwards. What's going on? Okay, so can you see that second bullet point? No.
We got the 1 billion and 255.
Oh, I see. I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay, here we go. All right, so 1 billion active users on Facebook and 255 million on Twitter. And you go, see? That's why I do it. Look at all those people out there. Yeah, but watch this. Facebook fans who see your posts, 6%. Even though they've liked your page, they still, only 6% of those people actually see those posts on your own page. Click-through rates on tweets, when you do those tweet campaigns, 0.5%. That's horrible. And the other problem with this, and this is the reason why
actually, really quick on Twitter, I want to kind of throw this out there just for folks. We recently, because I've been doing quite a bit of marketing on Twitter, we were recently able to get our own ad account rep for this, and shockingly enough, the ads that I'm doing on Twitter are better than 98% of all advertisers worldwide in terms of click loss. And what's happening right now is Twitter is not a viable media for authors, yet that's where all the authors live. But
right.
the click-through rates on these things, and so even though I'm able to get like better stuff than almost the entire group of people advertising on Twitter, it still sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, they were calling me literally, and I'm like, guys, what the heck? In fact, Twitter is so bad for advertising right now for authors that they actually encourage you not to advertise on Twitter, but to advertise in their audience network. Twitter is huge. It is awesome. But guys, Twitter is not the place where you're going to find your readers, and it's not the place where you engage. Twitter is very interesting. They've tracked this before. The reason I'm harping on this is because I've had so many authors say, "Oh, well, I just tweet, I just tweet, I just tweet." The click-through rates are atrocious because people feel like they're doing something in Twitter if they hit the heart button or they retweet it, but very few people actually click the links and read what you wrote. It's, like all this.
It's like a ticker tape feed.
Right,
it's
right.
Like a ticker tape.
Exactly. Exactly. It's kind of like if you look at and I won't get political about this, but if you look at all of the things going on right now in the world that are crazy and everybody has an opinion on it, that's all it is. It's an opinion. Like people see some sort of social movement as a retweet. It has no bearing on reality whatsoever. Meaning it has no bearing on your book sales. And so you're fooling yourself if you think that Twitter is the place to be.
And because of that constant ticker tape feed of things going through, people cannot read all the posts in their news feed. So a lot of information gets lost, and that's the reason for it. Do you go back and read all of the stuff that you missed the last time you were on Facebook? I know I don't. All right, so your email list, okay? 3.9 billion email accounts, 3 times that of Facebook and Twitter combined. And I know some people are responding, yeah, but I probably have 5 email accounts. Okay, I do too. But I also forward the majority of them to a single email. I do look at probably 1 or 2 of them, like my Yahoo account, at least once a month. And I go through everything. I go through it all. I crap. Okay, this one I want to read. Crap. I do that. But I go through it. I actually go through it. It's a big thing for me and a lot of people I know to clear that inbox. I am going to clear that inbox. Okay, they file stuff away. They do it. People are in it. Right, Brenda? Isn't that what we do every day?
Absolutely, every day.
Open rates for email lists, 20 to 30%. Compare that to the exposure on Facebook. It's 5 times more likely to be seen. Now, this 20 to 30% is industry standard. We have heard authors, Kevin Tumlinson reported up to 89.2% open rate on some of his emails.
Oh, it was crazy. And by the way, guys, that's a unicorn. And if you were in the first webinar where I talked about the 2-cent subscribers, those are what I like to call unicorns. Like they show up every now and then, kind of like, eat a couple of babies and then run off into the night.
The average rates that we've been getting, however, from a lot of the authors that have been joining our program and reporting back to us about what their open rates are, averaging around 40%, 38 to 47%. Okay, so it's even higher than through the list that we're getting through these giveaways that we're doing. Click-through rates in email, 3% industry standards. Now, that's 6 times more follow-through than the clicks on, or the follow-through on tweets at 0.5%. We're getting anywhere from 10 to 20, 25%. We've heard up as high as 60% click-through rates on the list that we're giving out. Okay, so you definitely get a heck of a lot more response than you do on social media. And as I said, most everybody reads through all their emails on their primary accounts. The analogy here is that I'm going to be presenting to you to help you understand how these giveaways fit into using your mailing list and how it feeds your mailing list and your whole process. All right? So your books are the worlds that you've created, okay? And the books in the worlds you've created are like an amusement park. And in this amusement park analogy, we're going to apply the giveaways. Now, the giveaways are the billboard to your amusement park. They're the introduction to you and your books. They're the advertisement, so to speak. Your free ebook, the EW gift, the Everybody Wins gift, is the reader's ticket into the amusement park. That is their first sample of your writing. That's what gets them to try out your books, try out your writing style. Each of your books are the rides and the attractions in the amusement park where they dive in and they have fun. And then each newsletter that you send out is the attendant or the hawker at each of the rides saying, step right up, this is an amazing experience. That's the method that you encourage them to go on to the next book and the next book and the next book. It is your follow-up communications to your readers through your mailing list that will get them to read your books. Getting them to read your books is the main goal of the mailing list. When they read your books and they enjoy them, they then become devoted fans. Remember that, that beautiful picture of a woman, a little girl walking into a book. that is how you will build your author platform, because they dive into reading your books. You tempt them with the newsletters. They get in and go, oh, hey, you got to try this out. Then they read the books and they fall in love. Those are the fans that will be lining up to buy your books. So this should be the main focus of your marketing. Build that list. Don't be afraid of the unsubscribe. Not everybody likes roller coasters. So we can't fault them for not liking your books and unsubscribing, okay? So don't be afraid of that. The people who do like your books will be the ones sticking around. And that's why you need to keep the giveaways going, to keep people cycling through and making it easier for you to build your list while you're writing your books. That is the whole purpose of what we do. So to sum up this business model that you should be following if you want to have consistent sales, you have to have a product to sell. You can't have an amusement park with one ride. I don't know how many authors have said, well, if I write the first book, I'll see how it sells, and then I'll move on to the next one. And it 100% of the time it fails. Unless, of course, you have somebody who's spending a ton of money in marketing for you, okay? Or you have the money to spend on marketing. It's just not going to happen, okay? No one is going to invest their time into a single attraction. The giveaways will feed you a constant supply of new readers who are your customers. Use your giveaways. Which would you rather do? Enter for a chance to win a Kindle, or join my mailing list. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a chance at winning a Kindle and maybe finding out a new author or whatever prizes are available, okay? Then go ahead and join a mailing list. Now, it's not to say that's the end, you know, of course that's the end result, but the temptation to get them to walk through the door, to get them to be able to go in, it's much easier to seduce them with that. Were you going to say, Brenda?
I was going to agree, yes.
Oh. Okay, so it's just much easier. They'll go, hey, you know what? I get a chance of winning a Kindle, and I'll get a free book, and maybe I'll learn a new author. You know, a lot of the people that we market to are those people who are looking for new authors. So the fact that you sweeten the deal, because here's the thing and why the giveaways work. If you do a giveaway with just books, then you're probably not going to be attracting as many people, and it's not because people don't want books. It's because they don't know who you are. Why would I want to take the chance to win a paperback from an author I might think is crap? But if you say, hey, get a chance at winning a Kindle and get a signed paperback, you go, hey, I'll get a Kindle out of it at least, and maybe if I like the author, I'll have another author to read. It just takes a whole different spin on it, you know? Okay, so you want to use your giveaways as much as you can. It's your follow-through emails to your subscribers that will push your customers to buy your books. And that's how you make money from your list, feeding them your backlist. And if you automate the process, which is what we're going to teach you how to do during this webinar series, then you can write more books, therefore offering more rides at your amusement park. And so the cycle goes. If you want to have consistent sales, get your focus off of social media, which you cannot control, and onto your mailing list, which you can, because people respond to emails. Now, I know a lot of you out there are already saying, all right, so if I'm not using social media to buy, the post to buy my book ads, then what the heck is social media for, you ask? And I'll give you a hint. It's that first word in the name, social media. Social media is the perfect place to be socializing with your current readers and fans. Why? Because that's how they can relate to you. Kristen Lamb said in her book, Rise of the Machines, Human Authors in a Digital World, consumers want authenticity. They long to connect on mutual ground. They get excited when they realize their favorite authors also love dogs and collect My Little Ponies. They will move mountains for those they like and consider a friend. Now pay very close attention to what I just said in Kristen's quote, and I even underlined it. They get excited about their favorite author. And I'm going to refer you back to that book of the picture of the woman, the little girl going into the book. Readers become fans after they read your books. The marketing industry had the rug yanked out from under them when they realized likes and follows did not translate into sales for any product. Kristen also goes on to say, now you know why traditional marketing and advertising and promotion alone is a big fat time suck that's unlikely to impact sales. She goes on to say, by now I hope I've made it clear why ads, commercials, trailers, mailers, bookmarks, blog tours, and free giveaways themselves have minimal effect on your overall sales numbers. And what she means by free giveaways, she discussed earlier in her book about how handing out a ton of free books for nothing in return is a waste of time. You're giving away your precious, your precious materials. To make it clear, the giveaways that we're doing through the author platform Rocket, we do have that EW book, the Everybody Wins gift. When that happens, they're completing what's called a non-financial transaction. They give you an email address, you give them a free book. It's just like currency. You are getting something tangible when you give away the free book through the giveaways. And when you go to those Facebook parties and author takeovers or have blog appearances, use that giveaway. That's a great place to use your giveaway. So I promised at the beginning of this session that I would show you a workflow of a buying process that will help you set your giveaways up in partnership with your books to sell more books. I also said that your books in your mailing list will be selling your books for you. And there you go. And for this workflow, only a piece of this is a combined effort, which we'll be teaching you throughout this course. The workflow I'll be showing you here requires you to set up a few things. And that will mean uploading new versions of your books to your publishing platform. So you don't have to do this all at once unless you're feeling rather ambitious. I would, however, try to make sure that the first book in every series you have does this kind of workflow, right? For those authors who do not have the luxury of doing this because you have a publisher, you might want to ask your publisher if they'd be willing to work with you. Oh, I can hear the laughter now. Okay, to make it happen. I know they're probably going to say no. They're probably going to be like, no, there's no way we're going to take that time. Maybe some of you are lucky that your publishers are already doing this, and they probably do it through their website. But if not, it's not a big deal. I'll show you how you can get around that, and you can still make this work. All right. First, we recommend that you put a link in to your giveaway in the front of all your books. You can either put a book plate at the front of your books, which links to your giveaway, or you can just provide the permalink. But either of these should link and drive people to your giveaway. Now, right now, I'm just going to let you know that this book plate of which I speak is a graphic that tells people about the giveaway and includes the book cover of the free ebook that you're getting, that they're getting when they enter your contest. We'll be going over that in much greater detail in session 5 of the webinar series. So not only about the book plate and how to use it, but I'm also going to show you how you can make one for free. And you don't even have to be a graphics artist to do it. Okay, you can actually do this all by yourself. Now, when readers click on that book plate or the hyperlink to your giveaway, it will take them to the giveaway, which is where they'll input their email address and enter the contest. As the flow continues, that email address goes into your mailing list, which you use to encourage your new subscribers to then read your books. Okay, so that's how the workflow, everything we've talked about so far, that's the workflow there. From book to contest to mailing list to sell more books. All right. In a smaller workflow, you can leverage the books themselves. This technique is called funneling. For example, at the end of the first book in your series, you could put a link right after the end, which says, click here to find out what happens next in the series. And the click here then gets them to go to book 2 in the series. Then at the end of book 2, you have the same thing, but linking to book 3, and book 3 to book 4, and so on. Now this is the perfect time for readers to buy the next book because they're still in that afterglow of finishing the first book. Now there's a couple of ways of doing this. Usually people will upload to Amazon or the different publishers individually. So you have the luxury, when you're self-published, to be able to upload those different links. And we're going to talk about something later on down the line when we talk more about the funnels and marketing your stuff and setting everything up, about pretty links, which is what we use for all of your author giveaways. But we have a WordPress website, just like I have a WordPress website. I know a lot of authors have a WordPress website. So if you are able to set up a link that has your mailing, your email, or excuse me, your URL. Like I've got arielburns.com/VIP club. I also have links to all my books. arielburns.com/VVB01. That's my generic pretty link for the first book in my series. Now, if I go from Kindle Unlimited to a landing page for my books, which we'll discuss in the next slide, it doesn't matter. That link is evergreen. It will never change. All I have to do is change it on the back end to say, okay, now arielburns.com/BBB01 is going to point to my Kindle, buy page instead of my landing page now that I've switched over to Kindle Unlimited. No matter what book that has that link or wherever I use that link in my marketing, it will always point to the right place that I tell it to. Okay, so keep in mind about pretty links. If you can find another method, and we'll talk, like I said in the series, we'll try to talk about some other methods. Short links, short URLs, custom URLs are the best because then it's easier to remember arielburns.com/BBB01 than it is bit.ly652 for whatever. Okay, I mean they've got all these weird things. However, the links work. The links work. So even if you can make them evergreen, great. All right, for those who are traditionally published. And not too many authors are going to want to take the time to re-upload your books with these modifications. So you might not be able to link your books to your giveaway or to your other books. Again, hopefully you have a publisher that is, surprisingly enough, as long as publishers have been around, some of them are still not getting this. Book funneling is something they should be doing. Okay, going from one book to the next and your mailing list. But it doesn't hurt to ask, and don't be surprised if they tell you no, okay? But that there's always your mailing list, okay? And that's why your mailing list becomes so valuable. You can go from your mailing list to your books via your newsletter. So don't let your publisher stop you from selling your books, even if they won't help you. Why they won't help? I don't know. Okay. Book funneling. There's two different ways that you can do this, right? If you have your books on Kindle Unlimited, then you can just use your Amazon affiliate link to go to the next book, okay? And there you go, you got your sales. But if your books are being sold on several different platform channels or distribution channels, then the easiest way is to the easiest way, okay, all of those channels are on a landing page that you can put on your website. You can do that on your blog or whatever. And what you do is you list all of the different options that are available for them to click on and purchase, and then the reader goes ahead and chooses it from there.
Hey, really quick,
Now,
there was something that someone brought up. Is it Lisa? Shoot, I don't know. I'm terrible. Anything outside of like Bob or Jennifer, I have the worst time. Anyway. Good point is that none of this requires any sort of skill level when it comes to coding. So if there's somebody out there right now that's like, oh man, I don't know if I could do this. Two things. First of all, I'm going to kind of get in your face a little bit. If at any point in time a thought enters your head and the thought is, I do not know how to do this, I want you to stand up and ram your face into a wall. Here's why. That is called victimization. Because now what we have, right, that is where you are inflicting ignorance on yourself. Right now at this particular moment in time, we have the ability to answer every question by going to Google or YouTube. Literally. Right. If there is something you do not know, the phrase you want to shift your thinking into is, I don't know how to do this yet. You can add the word yet to that. Or you could be, I wonder what YouTube can show me about learning here. Like, you can learn how to do anything. Exactly. Google it. Go to YouTube. There are thousands of hours, extremely relevant, up-to-date hours on how to do anything regarding publishing your book, formatting your book, all this link stuff that Ariel's talking about right now. These things exist in the wild. Literally, people who are smarter than anybody you've ever imagined have been working tirelessly throughout time to make the internet and everything involved with it copy paste simple. And I know that sounds like some sort of like buy my stuff thing from back in 2006, but it literally is. Everything that you're doing right now. So please, 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 please do yourself the biggest favor that will ever happen in your life. Never again say, I don't understand that. I can't do that. You can do it. You can learn it. Just let yourself, don't be scared of it. Learn how to do it. Code is not scary. Code is like copy paste, copy paste. And
there's a lot of methods to do this where you don't really need to do code either.
Exactly. None of this requires code. None of this requires it at all.
Right. Because the next thing I was going to say was that one of the things I believe that is a new feature, it's been probably out for a few months now, almost a year now, I think, is that if you publish through draft to digital, I think they have an element of back matter and front matter that you can put in, like a generic for each of the different channels, the distribution channels. Because iBooks doesn't like you to link to an Amazon book.
Right.
And Amazon doesn't like you to link to Barnes & Noble, okay?
Right.
Now, I know a lot of authors out there actually offer separate versions to all the different publishers. So if you want to take the time to do that, that's your opportunity to make sure that each of those have those evergreen links in there that link from one book to the next, or go to your mailing list or your giveaway. All right, so I know after I've showed you these two workflows, it is a very 50,000-foot view. It really is. And it was just a general understanding of what go from book links to an Amazon link, they buy the next book, you get the money. You know, and the same thing with the book goes to your landing page, which has the links to all the different venues, and then they can choose which one they want to do from there. Yes, it's an extra click, okay, but that's one of those things where you cut out a lot of effort. And during this series, I'm going to share with you a really, really fun, pretty link trick that actually has gotten me a lot of enrollment on my mailing list. I might spill the beans by the end of this one, but we'll see. So after showing you these workflows, can you see how you can get both your giveaways and your books to sell your books for you? The giveaways grabs those valuable email addresses which you use to promote your backlist. The back of your books link to the next book, encourages them to keep buying. Once you set this up, you really won't have to be running around all over the place trying to promote your books. Okay, it's not to say you can't do any other outside promotion, but your efforts will drop drastically. You really won't have to be running in circles anymore. Okay, you can do your lap around the the area, and then voila. Now here's another way that you can leverage your giveaway, and specifically to make these ads count. So remember when I said that the ads only give you a spike in sales and they do little for longevity? Well, your giveaway will change all of that. Whenever you promote your book in an ad, try your best. I know some of these are, again, self-published things, okay? So you might want, or traditionally published books. You might want to do everything you can to at least get one self-published book out there and promote the heck out of that one, because then that one will at least be able to get people on your mailing list, and then you can funnel them to all of your traditionally published books. So have at least one self-published book under your belt to help you out with your marketing efforts. So while your giveaway is in the front of your book, here's how it goes. When you promote a book in an ad, BookBub, for example, if you're lucky enough to get a BookBub ad, be sure that the book you're promoting has that book plate or the hyperlink in the front of your book linking to your giveaway. Now when your ad goes live, it's not only going to go and drive sales to your book, it's going to get your giveaway in front of all those new readers, and those interested will end up on your mailing list. It's certainly a heck of a lot better than crossing your fingers and hoping that they're going to read your book and then want more. If they're on your mailing list, you can at least send up a follow-up message with teasers encouraging them not to forget that book that they got on sale, that they got for free through that ad. Okay, so that's how you can maximize your ads. And I know some e-readers take the customer to chapter 1, skipping all the front matter. That's okay. You could also include a very short link right before chapter 1 that says something like this picture shows, enter to win gift cards and more, and then just create a link to your giveaway there. And then additionally or alternatively, you can put it at the book plate or the link to your giveaway right at the end, right where it says the end, just in case they missed it at the front. Right? All right, so we're going to give a quick review here. We stress the purpose of the giveaways. They're the billboard to your amusement parks. You can put your best foot forward and introduce yourself to the new readers. The giveaways are used to keep a constant flow of new readers joining your mailing list. This is the advertising that we do with the Facebook ads to drive people to join your mailing list. Please be aware, some people were mistaken and thought that the Facebook ads were going to be driving direct-to-book sales. That's not what they're for. The Facebook ads you're paying for through us is to drive people to your giveaway. You've got to capture those leads. That's more valuable than getting people to go to your book. Okay, you got to get them on the mailing list first so that you can keep in constant contact with them. Once that book gets in their hand, it's kind of out of your control. We help you go through that entire sequence to build your business, and that's why we do that. Your main focus as an author should be two things. Keep writing and build your list. Leverage your giveaway. Use it wherever you can. Facebook parties, blog tours, guest appearances. If you have a new release, you can throw your giveaway in there too. By the way, I'm also having a giveaway. Your constant flow of sales will come through pushing your backlist to your growing mailing list. And we're going to teach you how to do that. So all of this, you don't have to worry about all these new readers missing out on a single message, okay? All right. So next week we're gonna we're gonna try to see if we can take out we're gonna try to see if we can take the mystery out of mailing list services, why they're so damn important. A lot of authors have expressed the woes of trying to find the right service, and I've had the opportunity to personally test about a dozen of them in the last several months. So I'll be sharing some of my findings and giving you some recommendations, some of which will be based on the features they have and what they don't have. There is a specific plan we're going to be outlining that is automated and easy to maintain once you set it up. And there are a lot of services out there who do not have the tools you need to do this. Mailer Lite. Sorry. Sorry, I got allergies here. We'll talk about the pros and cons of mailing list services and how to avoid some of the pitfalls other people are running into with the systems like unsubscribes and things like that. Because sometimes we get those treasure seekers, okay? But I'm going to shed light on the true purpose of mailing list services, and I'll give you a hint. It isn't to help you maintain a healthy list. I'm going to tell you that right now. And there are some scary marketing changes coming down the pipe. Johnny talked about a few of them in a recent message, and they just keep coming. We'll discuss some of those and how your mailing list will help you avoid some of that turmoil. And in fact, you can probably sail above all the marketing crap that's going on. And finally, we'll give you the exact formula for how to reach out to those new subscribers once you get them in your first batch of new leads. As we said, these courses are free to APR clients. That means you. So if you aren't an APR client, if you don't have a giveaway yet, if somebody shared this link and you joined our webinar tonight and you haven't tried out anything we have to offer, you can visit authorplatformrocket.com for more information on how you can become an APR client and start building your list today. So let's open the floor. Questions?
First of all, good, that's my favorite kind of thing. 4 seconds in, out. We actually have a ton of questions here. It's really awesome. I tried to answer everybody, but I left a lot of them to the thing here. So this is because it's going to these are the kinds of things that we get a lot of. So the first one here is from Jamie Lynn. My release isn't until March 21st, 2017. What I like is, when should I purchase Johnny's product to help build my mailing list?
Johnny, I'm going to let you answer that.
Oh, you're going to let me do it? All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Okay, so what you want to do with this thing, so and the other big question from the folks that weren't here for the first webinar, might have missed that. The giveaways that we're talking about are the ones where we run Facebook ads. We build you a giveaway. We do all the graphics, all that cool stuff, and then we run Facebook ads to this thing and build your subscriber list, and then export that stuff to you so that you literally don't have to do anything. And so the webinars that you're in now are answering the question, okay, so what was amusing, and I mentioned this at the very beginning, was we've given away over 611,000 subscribers to authors in just the past few months, and everyone's like super excited. And then the next big question was, what do I do with them? Well, that's what this sequence of webinars is covering, is what exactly do you do with the humans that we're bringing you? And so, if you're running promo on your own, that's totally cool. You could take the stuff that you can use the same techniques and things like that. So with your release, there's a couple of different things that you can do. March 21st is indeed pretty, was way ahead of time. But
is that your first release?
That's her first release.
Okay.
I think. Is that actually, that is a good question.
Is that your next release, or is it your first release? Is that, you don't have any other books out?
She said no, so I'm guessing, is that no, that you're not first release, or do you have no other books out? Sorry, it's one of those fun things where we. All right, here we go. Perfect. I actually have one self-published on Amazon. All right, perfect. Perfect. So, I'm guessing you're one of the Limitless authors then, because we have Jen and I were talking. And I'm like, yeah, I'm absolutely going to throw these links in here because she's been an awesome help, helping us, get this platform out to a lot of authors. If you have one self-published on Amazon, what you can do is begin to build awareness around the book that's going to be coming out. And this is one of those things where authors, you're not going to make a livable income off of a single book. You need to be publishing multiple books. So that's just one of those things you have to sort of accept. I know there's a lot of people that, well, I have a book, I'm an author. It's like, yes, you are, and that's awesome. Congratulations. Now get back to work.
Right. Yeah. The first part of the answer to that question is, if you only have one book right now and you got another one coming out, keep writing. Keep writing. Don't stop.
Absolutely. So what you can do is take the one that you have that's self-published. You can use that as the Everybody Wins prize, and then build awareness to your next one. And that's where we're actually doing an experiment right now on the Sell More Books show, the podcast. I hope a lot of you guys listen to that stuff, where we're going through and working with someone who's in this exact situation. And what they're doing is they're giving away a free short that is then leading into the first release that's going to be coming out in a couple of months. And so the goal is to build the mailing list, to develop awareness around this upcoming book, and then to launch it. And so these subscribers are going to be very specifically told in the follow-up messages, my book is coming out, get ready for it. And then as it gets closer to that, you then start to give them X, or you do the cover reveal. Then it becomes like a traditional launch. But what you want to do, if you have another book that you are willing to give away so that people can get a taste of who you are and what you're doing, you should literally start now and build this thing out so that you can develop that relationship with that audience and get them excited about it, maybe even write another short between now and then that's going to lead them into that stuff. And there's a lot of things that you can be doing besides sitting on your haunches waiting for it to, waiting for this stuff to happen. So
one of the things that, we as a team have pretty much, we're not big advocates of giving away all your books for free. I know a lot of authors are out there, well, I got this first book for perma-free, so then I'll go ahead and just give away as the Everybody Wins gift as the second book. And we go, no, don't do that. You got to make money from these books. Because now if you give book one away and you're giving book two away, what if you only have 2 books? What if you only got 3 books? Now you're only selling 1 book. So what we're trying to do is, the ideal situation would be a novella, a short story, something short that's self-published that you have all the control over and you don't have to worry about anybody mad at you for giving away too many copies, okay? And the short story or the novella could be a prequel or something that's a spin-off of the world that your series or your books have created. That novella is the perfect. That's that little sausage on the the toothpick over at the grocery store. You get a little sample, you like it, and the lady's there ready to throw the box of sausages right into your. Boy, I'm starting to sound kinky. I better back off. Okay, but you get the flavor for what your writing tastes like. And again, I'm still going perverted. So my husband just walked through the door, so now I'm starting to go off in different tangents. Okay, so the point is something small that you can give away. Now, the next best thing would be if you already have a book in a series, that's the first book in the series is perma-free, use that as your EW gift. Okay? Give that away to everybody. And then your prizes should be things like a combination of small denominations of gift cards. The larger the present, the more treasure seekers you get. So please don't start buying the super duper paper white Kindle that will wash your dishes and your car for you, okay? You want to keep it small. And I think one of the best ones to do really is the new Kindle e-ink that came out. And that one's the one that is a reader. It's $80, it's $7.99. Johnny, are you typing?
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Mute yourself. That one is an e-ink reader, and yes, it's less expensive. Might not be as high quality as the Paperwhite, but readers love to read, and they don't care as long as they get a book, some form of reading. The tablet was cool because it was only $50, the Kindle Fire. But now I cannot tell you how many readers we have seen on the comments of our pages that are saying, "Oh, great! I'd love to win a Kindle Fire, and my kid needs a tablet." It's like, yeah, that defeats the purpose. Okay, so there's a lot of people out there that yes, they can use them for themselves, but the tablet can be used for a lot of other things. So I would highly encourage you to do the Kindle the new Kindle e-ink if you can. Now, if you're giving away a Kindle Fire, don't sweat it. It's okay. We're still getting people in the door. You're still getting a lot of readers, all right? So, but just if you're going to be setting up something new, then, you know, make sure that you've got that, or if you're going to be coming up on the end of a cycle. I know, Johnny, I'm inviting more work in, but everybody gets one free redo of their graphics and their giveaway, one free a year. Okay, so if you want to use that to change things up soon, give us time. Okay, make sure you give us as much notification before the end of your first 90-day cycle or your next 90-day cycle. Okay, combination of Kindles or gift cards, $20, no more than $25 collectively, really. $25, and you can split that up, $15 and $10, or two $10 and a $5, or you can do a 15 and a 10 and a 5. Those are great. They're small denominations. And then your books, because if you give only the prize, those big things, and you don't give any books, you're defeating the purpose. And you want to promote, you know, give away, like if book number 1 is a perma-free. Book number 2, give away 2 or 3 copies of those. Ebook or 1 signed copy. I hate mailing. I hate it. I can't stand it. I've already got, poor thing has got a prize from Canada, and I still haven't mailed the damn thing out, and it's been a month. I'm terrible at those things, okay? So if you're like me, give me books. It's okay. There's still books, okay? There's still books. So, you know, ebooks, a signed paperback, they love that stuff. If you don't know what autograph is, A-U-T-H, author, graph, G-R-A-P-H, .com, autograph, somebody put that in the chat thing, autograph.com. This will allow you to actually digitally sign, autograph.com. This will allow you to digitally sign your ebooks. Gift those ebooks to people through your through Amazon, like if they're the regular prizes. Gift them through Amazon, and voila, they can go ahead and ask for them. We've got instructions. I can go ahead and mail that to you. Okay. Next question. Did I answer
All
your
right.
question?
No, you answered actually like 9 of them.
Oh, I know. Actually, okay, and I'm sorry, the person who had the question about when do I get involved in the giveaways and when do I do this, Johnny will tell you as soon as possible, okay? I'll tell you as soon as you have at least a book that you can give away as a freebie, which is what Johnny said too. Some book that you can give away as a freebie, and if you've got another book coming out, you can promote that book on the images. But the point is, get that mailing list built so when the new release comes out, then you can go ahead and start promoting. So if your first release doesn't come out until March, you've got a ton of time to be building this mailing list.
Right, and that's why you're doing this. Literally,
right.
the program that we're doing runs 365 days a year, and it just that's every 90 days to pay out the prize. That was another big question, is like how often this the graph that she showed, or that Ariel showed earlier, where you have like the spikes in sales and stuff. The entire reason there's the summer slump and all this other stuff is because authors only go into promotion mode when the new book is about to be launched. This is a throwback problem to traditional publishing, excuse me, that no longer is relevant to indie authors. In fact, it actually does you a great disservice. And so what you need to be doing, marketing is a daily activity. If, you know, a lot of you, I'm getting a lot of questions now about like, what's this first webinar you're talking about? The first thing I would say is please pay attention. I've been sending this first webinar for like 9 freaking months. It's like, what is this now? It's like, okay. Now I have to like.
Is that the one that's on the landing page right now?
No, it's a different one. I've actually retooled it and stuff like that because people had a lot of questions. I made it better.
All right.
But yeah, I'm gonna actually redo it again because that's what I do is I redo things, and then I will send it out so that you guys can see that. Please open that email and watch that thing so that all of your questions are answered. But anyway, in the first webinar, that's really what we talked about is the need to be marketing 365 days a year. And that obviously, when most authors do this, it's a spectacular pain in the tuchus because most people are doing this outside marketing naked in front of a Mall of a Denny's thing. And it's like, it's awful and it doesn't work and everyone's frustrated and they're not selling books. That's because you're doing literally everything wrong. And so when we do this, we're running the right kind of ads to the right people. And literally, we just do it for you. And then just hand you every month, here's your humans, here's your subscribers. And now we're teaching you how to talk to them so that every single day new people are being added to this thing. Because if you go in seasonal marketing mode, like virtually everyone's currently doing, or if you go into launch marketing mode, you go through these highs and then these crushing lows. And
Right.
so even though with this method you're not going to be getting the highs right away, because you do start to get them over time as you launch and you begin to launch your books correctly to people that give a crap because they're interested because they've
Right.
said so. You know, it's like instead of doing, you get this nice sort of like really slow at first, but this even uptick. You know, it just
Right.
starts to slowly move up, and then as you launch more books, and say you have 500, 1,000, 2,000 active subscribers that are really interested. Now, remember, not everybody that joins your mailing list initially, that joins through this giveaway, is going to want to stick around. This is the business you are in. Okay, so these are the facts of this that you have to emotionally own. This is a culling process, just like editing your book is the act of removing the garbage that doesn't need to be there.
Right.
Same thing with
Not
people.
everybody is going to be your friend. Yeah.
Exactly.
Not everybody's going
Let
to be
them go. It's totally cool. So that's why it's like, you know, if you start
Don't
off
take
with,
it personally.
exactly, you start off with a couple hundred to a couple thousand people, that might whittle down, you know, and whittle it down until you get to those core people. It's a process. This process goes on in every single industry out there, and being an author is no different. And if you have aspirations of being a successful, commercially successful author who can pay the bills by selling your books, you have to emotionally own this. This is the business you are in. The products you are selling are books. Okay? It's the same business everybody else is in.
Yes.
You know, that's the difference.
And I'm going to steal this back from Johnny because he's about to hit on a pet peeve that I'm really pissed off about. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. And that's what he was saying in regards to the publishing industry itself. Everybody is all in this big mindset about the book release. The book release. I got to hit it that first week. I got to hit it that first week or I'm going to miss out. Okay, here's why they do that. The sales from the publishers, it's all the publishing industry. It's the publishers and the editors and all those guys that pay attention to that stuff. Because when a book gets launched, they try really hard to push it hard that first week because the book is brand new to everybody and they want to capture everybody they possibly can that first week so it will what? Land on a list, right? Everybody's always about, oh, I'm a New York Times bestseller, I'm a USA Today best-selling author, I'm this kind of author. Everybody wants to get on those lists, okay? And if you'll all remember, let's take a little journey here. All remember, a lot of us got involved in those box sets, and they were a way to trick the system to get readers to buy a shit ton of books in that first week. You sell it for 99 cents, you put in 25 stories and novels and whatnot, and a single thing. Of course everybody's going to buy that up. Who wouldn't want 25 bucks for 99 cents? Okay? It did two things, though. Yay, we got on lists. Woohoo! I can brag I'm a USA Today best-selling author. Some of us in this room in our training session can brag that they're New York Times best-selling authors because of box sets and because of USA Today and Wall Street Journal or whatever else is going on. Okay, I'm going to tell you the only people that care about that. Publishers, editors, and agents. They're the only ones who care about that. Marie Forrest did a poll about readers and whether or not that title drove them to buy a book. And almost, it was like 80% of the people or the readers said, it does not influence me to buy a book. What influences them to buy a book is exactly what all of you answered when you said, what got you to fall in love with an author? The cover, the blurb, and the stories. And that's what the stories. They don't care if you're a USA Today best-selling author, a New York Times best-selling author. It's bragging rights. It looks good. Don't get me wrong. I love putting it on my covers. I think it looks great. But honestly, it has nothing to do with your sales. Okay? It's bragging rights. So that first 2 weeks, or that first week of the launch, everybody was putting, the publishing industry puts emphasis on that first week. It's not that big of a deal. Wouldn't you rather pay your bills than get a spike during that first week and have it peter off? I don't know about you, but I'd rather pay my bills. Okay, so that's where our emphasis has to be. Gradual things. I'm gonna tell you, and I'll prove it to you. It is always a great time to promote a book. I don't care how old the book is. Some authors have said, well, should I be promoting that series? It's already 2 years old. Dracula was written in 1897, and Dracula is still new to a reader who has never read it. And it's a fabulous book. If you've never read it, you've got to read it. Okay? That book's over 200 years old, and it's still selling today. Okay? So it doesn't matter when a book is released. Next question. Thank you for letting me rant.
That's what I do. There's always that time you call me up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let her go. Exactly. All right.
I tell you, when I became an editor, I thought, oh, I've reached the pinnacle of heaven. I got into the publishing industry, and I put my foot in the door, and I walked in through the pearly gates of the publishing industry. And as soon as I walked through the door, I turned around and saw it was all a cardboard facade. There was a bunch of lights blaring in my face. And some woman with a clipboard walked up, ripped off my rose-colored glasses, threw them on the floor, stamped on them, and she said, "Welcome to the publishing industry." She walked away, and I found out that editors are all just like we authors are. There are so many people, so many editors who don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. So the people on the other side and behind the fence don't know it any more than you do. Trust me on that one. I've talked to Big 5 and Big 6 editors and publishers and small presses alike. They're all the same. They don't know caca. So you are peers with them. They are not above you.
There you
Agents
go.
and editors work for you, not the other way around, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
You are the stars of the show.
This is sort of a reiteration on this one, but you know, I'm planning to publish my first book in 2 months, but I'd like to start building my audience now. How can I do this? The answer, to nutshell it, is you want to create a short that somehow leads people up to this first book. Use that as your Everybody Wins prize in the giveaway. You know, so get that short done and out. Do it quickly. That's the other thing that I harp on everybody about is you need a date. There's 2 rituals you need. You need a daily marketing ritual, which, as luck would have it, we could do that for you so you could get it off your plate. Or you can, you need a daily writing ritual. If you want to be a real author, you need to be writing basically every day. All right.
Even if it's an hour a day.
Exactly. Let's see. Is boosting, and King here is asking, is boosting posts through Facebook about your book, is it really helpful? That is something you can do. There are, obviously tonight, the first webinar was way more about Facebook ads, but I'll cover this really quickly because it's kind of an in-depth answer, but I'll try to make it pithy. Yes, you can really help yourself by boosting a post in Facebook. It might not be the best way to go, and that's one of those things where you need to get, and I know there's a lot of courses out there on how to do Facebook ads, and that's super cool. A lot of them are really, really good. The issue most authors run into is that not everything is going to work for them the same way that it did work for somebody else, and you need to be prepared to lose more than you win when you're getting started. This is why a lot of authors, I gave this presentation live, the first webinar thing that we've been talking about, in front of a bunch of authors, and there were these people who were snickering at the back of the room when I got to the Facebook section, and they were like, "That's such a joke, it doesn't work." I'm like, well, I can literally guarantee you in my own blood that you did it wrong, because this is how people are building their audiences right now.
Right.
The problem is I can't tell you for sure that boosting a post is going to be the best way. That is what I call Facebook marketing 101, is just boost a post, target it to some people, and see what happens. Typically, you do that to get more engagement.
Facebook is all about testing ads. Facebook is all about and it changes all the time. It really does.
So literally, we've had to redo. There have been times because of like policy changes over at Facebook, we've literally had to tear down all the ads we had going. And remember, we've worked with about 470 plus authors at this point, so you can imagine what this looks like. We've had to rip down those ads and redo them, retool them, and it's just crazy. And images, body copy, what does the link look like? What does the link say? Now there's all sorts of rules.
This got rejected because there was a nipple on it. I was like, oh, really? A male nipple.
Favorite. We have a great relationship with Facebook right now, and so usually our romance ads get very infrequently. There was one person, I won't mention him by name, where it's just like constantly. Oh, that was so aggravating. Yeah, but it was just like nowadays my favorite rejection is when they tell me that you can't promote an unrealistic body image with a health product. I'm like, sweetheart, read the title of the book. It has nothing to do with your health. Anyway, so you have to deal with a bunch of crap. That's why we do this stuff for you. So really quick, let's go to another one. The question is, so even though I finally made it, now I'm all good, right? Absolutely not, dude. This is where you have to start fighting. You've never made it, ever. Never for a second think that you are at the top of the hill. Even after
That
you've
you can
sold a
sit there.
billion books, you're
Yeah.
still not there.
Stephen King still keeps writing, and he still has to work it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's making $2 million, dollars every time he farts a book out, but
Yeah.
he
It's a
still
good
has
place to
still
be.
has to write.
Yeah,
It
he's still working his butt off. His goal is 6 pages a day. If you listen to that interview he did
is.
recently with George R. R. Martin, I listened to the entire thing. I was absolutely captivated by that. It's a wonderful interview. All right. So how does the preview feature in some email aggregators, Mac Mail, Microsoft Office, affect the open rates? We see some people
Right.
read the preview but don't actually click the open email. Here's why. Here's what you can do to fix it. I'll totally cover this really quickly. First of all, you want to get people to
Wait,
open your
first
emails.
of all, explain the question. I did not understand the
Oh,
question.
my bad. I'm sorry. I went super technical without you. Okay. What happens is, okay, if you remember, obviously don't click out of the webinar right now if you'd like the answer to this question. But let's say, for example, you're looking at your phone and you're in an email client. You're going to see who it's from, and you're going to see the subject line, and then you'll probably see like 120 characters or something like that. And what she's asking is like, or I'm sorry, I think it was Sasha. Yes, Sasha. What she's asking is, how does this affect stuff if people just see this and they don't click the thing? And then with previews, you can actually see a little bit more. What you need to keep in mind is when you're writing emails, you need to write emails that pull people through. Like you have to keep in mind your subject line.
Are you talking about from on your email, not the preview of your book?
Right, email.
Okay, I got lost. All right, so you're talking about that tiny little preview field that they say, go ahead and put a preview here, and this is what they'll see in your preview view. Is that what you're talking about?
Where people are going to see like the first 120 characters plus of an email.
Right.
What you have to remember is emails are not static things. They are for active engagement. So like people sometimes when we'll send them an export, they're like, well, I got really low open rates. I'm like, well, your subject line was crappy. It's like that's why you do it. It's like because we know the numbers, we know what we're doing. And so, for example, someone just said they had a 45% open rate, but a 0% click on their books. That means there was.
That's your content.
Right? No, it's not. Well, actually, yes, but in that case, that's actually a technical glitch because there does not exist a scenario where you have a 45% open rate that 0 people click your link. Even if you write the worst email on the planet, somebody will have clicked it even accidentally. So it's like there is something that's not tracking. There was something that wasn't set up correctly when you put that link in there, and this has happened before because we did get an angry email one time from an author, and it legitimately turned out to be their autoresponder service had actually broken that day in terms of their ability to track, and the numbers were just junk, and they blamed us, but it was funny. They went back and they're like, oh yeah, sorry about that. You were right. So it was funny, but anyway, when you have to remember your subject line has to be compelling enough to get them to open it, and then you really need to write an email that makes them want to click the link. You can't just say, here's this thing. There's a better way to do that. You can get them more engaged. So we're going to cover a lot of that stuff. But that's what you want to keep in mind is there's a process to everything here. Right. Let me see.
And we're not just going to tell you how to create engaging content. We're going to be teaching you adult learning techniques or adult learning capacity retention, and we're going to be teaching you marketing techniques that are going to be slightly different, and that's why a lot of authors don't have successful newsletters because they're writing like authors. They're not writing like marketing people, and that's what we're going to show you how to do. There's things called NLP and vetted suggestions and all that other kind of stuff that helps out with a lot of that. So, putting it simply, people need to be told what to do.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Let's see. We got another one. Does book funneling include sample chapters for the subsequent book in the series, or is that too much?
I'm sorry. Ask the question again.
Does book funneling include sample chapters for the subsequent book in the series, or is that too much?
That's an interesting debate. Now, I will tell you, I personally like to include them. I have heard there's a very 50-50 camp. I hate them. I love them. So it's up to you whether or not you want to. Does that answer your question?
By the way, can I really quick humble brag? Julia Mills is on the line. Awesome. She said today her open rate was 80% and her click was 75% on her I Love Vampire novel
Hey,
reads. Yeah, girl, that's awesome. Super
congratulations.
cool.
Yay. Congratulations. It can happen.
It does. It can happen to you too. You could become famous. All right, man. There's a ton of stuff in here, so I was like trying to say, how long do the giveaways run for? The answer
90.
is
Always.
365 days a week or days a
Always.
year, and they reset every 90 days, so prizes can be paid out. This is the point I was trying to make earlier. Marketing is a daily activity. You can do it yourself totally. You can take everything you're doing and just go do it yourself, or you could have us do it if you value your time and you don't want to spend.
We had the 30-day giveaways, and a lot of you participated in the 30-day giveaways, and we just found out they were not very effective in the long run. You got a large group of people, and then you walked away and you went, thank you very much, and then that was it. The 90-day giveaways, actually the perpetual giveaways that reset every 90 days, have that constant flow of people coming in. It's more of a steady flow, and it's a much more long-term benefit of being able to do that. One of the problems that we had with the 30-day giveaway was that MailChimp was sending people lots of nasty letters, because for every 1,000 emails that they were importing, you're only allowed one unsubscribe. That's their stat, which is stupid, which is really stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. So basically what happens now is the bigger issue was that it didn't solve the core problem of perpetual marketing, because if you're not doing stuff on a daily basis, it doesn't help anybody. So that's why we discontinued those things. So here we go.
The one-offs just don't do you any good.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, because it gets back into the launch methodology, which is not a helpful thing for most indie authors. You will have an effective launch of your book when you have a large responsive group. Like, for example, back in 2012, I partnered with a health and fitness company when I had my publishing house. And of our first book, we sold 15,000 copies in 7 days. And obviously, this was back in 2012. People didn't even know they had a Kindle on their phone. We actually had to it was literally trying to sell these books back then was like sitting down at a buffet, but before you could serve the food, you had to teach them where their mouth was and what to do with it. So we had to spend 4 days teaching people how to eat before we could serve dinner. And so then finally, when we launched this book, we moved 15,000 copies of it. We made like 50 grand in a couple of days. Now, what's funny about this, I don't know who has the pills in the background, but no. But what was interesting about this was we knew something like that was going to happen. Like, I couldn't have told you specifically that we were going to sell 15,000 copies of the book, but I knew we were going to sell a crap ton. And the reason we knew this was because this group that we partnered with had 680,000 subscribers.
Right.
It was like, this was a no-brainer. Like, oh, you have this many people? So the equation that we're trying to drum into your head here is, if you want to be a successful author in today's day and age, you have to understand, hit send, sell books. That's what it means. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Build the list, build the audience, and then sell them the books.
All right, so we have Bruce. I just received my first mailing list. When should I send the free ebook? Now.
As soon as possible.
Right, now. Now, what time like now is a good time? Do it
now.
Right now.
I will tell you, Bruce, go to our giveaways FAQ, and let me see if I can pull up the message for that, or the, what do you call it, link for that. Go to our giveaways FAQ. I actually have a formula of what to send those people the first 3 messages. Now, you can take it or leave it. If you don't want it, that's fine. But I have an actual recommendation of 3 automated messages that you can set up to those people. Or if you don't know how to do automation right now, manually set it up by just, sending yourself a little reminder or pre-posting it, and then say publish on this date, okay, for that list. Stick with the program here of what we're doing, and we'll show you how to automate that whole process.
All right, next question we have here. Is this only for fiction authors? I mean, the techniques we're talking about tonight work for every kind of author. Author Platform Rocket is only for fiction authors, and the reason why is because no other service like this exists in this space. And I wanted to go and help. I love fiction authors, so I wanted to go out and really help some folks make a difference in their careers. But this kind of
I think
thing.
Nick Stevenson caters more to a non-fiction audience, doesn't he?
Yeah. I don't know.
Nick Stevenson. Yeah.
Oh, Nick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And nonfiction, honestly, there is a world. This infrastructure exists already in nonfiction. Like you can go out.
Right.
If you heard the podcast I did, it wasn't Wordslinger. It was the other one. I'm trying to remember. It's totally eluding me because Kevin was on it. Where I did this interview, they were talking about a lot. They were asking me a lot of questions about nonfiction. The space is there. If you want to go, like, you can rent email lists to promote your stuff. It's literally like, here you go. You want to be famous and rich? Go. Here's the infrastructure. Go save up like $20,000, and you can go literally create a business that makes millions within a couple of years. It's crazy. Whereas this way, it doesn't exist yet. So I'm building it so that it will, and within a year or two, you'll have similar stuff in fiction. But right now, we're the only shot you got. All right, big question from Cheryl. Should we forge ahead with the new emails immediately rather than waiting for the sessions where you teach us how and reach out to them? My personal belief, and Ariel may disagree with me, as she is wont to do, but I think that you go and you take action, even if it's imperfect action, and fix it in the mix. So if you learn something in a later webinar, you can make adjustments to it. The one thing to keep in mind, and I see this mentality a lot with authors, almost with everybody, is feeling like this moment we're in now, at the developmental stage we are now, this is all it will ever be. And that's not true. You can take action now and then go back and fix it. When you publish a book, typically that's sort of like saying, okay, guys, this is good enough. Readers, please don't lynch me. I hope you enjoy it. But typically your book is pretty rock solid. And obviously you as the creator of that book are going to see mistakes or things you could have done better later on. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about being a perfectionist. Just execute imperfectly. And then if you learn something you think is applicable, fix it later. No one's going to mind. It's totally cool.
I'll give you a couple of tips right now. Sign up for Bella Forrest's newsletter.
Oh, totally.
It's really simple, and that's the point. Keep it short and simple. The KISS method. Okay. Book cover, blurb, go buy it. Okay. Now that's a buy my book ad to a certain extent, and allow your personality to come through. But my point is, don't put thumbnails of all your book covers in the same email. Don't put these big, huge icons that say, hey, follow me all over here on Facebook and on Twitter, and I've got a Pinterest account, and I've got an Instagram account, and just keep it simple. Keep it to the book that you're promoting. Have fun with it. Give them a small teaser, something like that. But don't put every single book you ever wrote. That's the point. Feed them one book at a time. Give them a chance to get to know you. Okay? Keep it simple.
Indeed. All right. Let's see. Oh, AJ Norris. Current client, genre is paranormal, but in October I have a romantic suspense coming out. How do we handle different genre as far as list building goes? We found there's a tremendous crossover between the reader bases. It's ridiculously, it's like almost the same group of people. So you can be totally fine. And also the point is just build your platform in general. So unless you're switching pen names, you should be fine.
Remember, the giveaways are just the billboard into the amusement park. You're going to introduce all the rides to them through the newsletter. So you don't have to keep switching up your giveaway and what you're promoting in your giveaway every time you get a new release or every time you start a new series. That's not the point, because in fact, the older the series is, the better off you are, because you already have built a track record with other readers. They've got all the reviews that are already on there. When you launch a new book, you have no reviews, you have no track record, you have nothing. So, and then everybody's going, I gotta get reviews, I gotta get reviews. Okay, so go with a book that has been up for a long time that has lots of reviews on it. That's the one you want to put up on the giveaway, because then when they go look at that, they'll, oh, look at all these people who love this book. Instead of, what's this? I never even heard of this. It doesn't even have any reviews, and then they move on. Okay, so the older your books are, the better. It works in your favor. Don't switch things up all the time.
Oh, great question. CK Brook is asking, yes, but doesn't being a bestseller get you the exposure you need? Nope.
Nope.
Nope,
You
not
know what?
kind
Do you
of.
know how many bestsellers out there are scrambling right now to eat? Just
Yeah.
because you're a bestseller doesn't mean you're paying your bills.
Exactly. Like it literally is meaningless when it comes down to
Yeah.
actually making a living as an author.
Yeah.
Now, readers, they'll see that and be like, "Oh, that's cool," and that's a form of social proof. If you ever play role playing games on video games, that's sort of like leveling up from the leather shield to the metallic
It's a
silver
badge.
shield. Yeah, it's something. It's an additional coolness factor. It's cool, but it's not the end all be all because it's not going to take you from ramen to steak in terms
Yeah.
of doing your thing. So no, absolutely. If you are a bestseller, congratulations. Seriously, that's awesome. That is something to be proud of. But you are nowhere
Absolutely.
near making it at this point. Even authors nowadays who are experiencing windfall success, like we give you an example, we work with authors that do very, very, very well. In fact, one of them, I believe, and I actually need to check with this, but something in the neighborhood of over $200,000 last month alone in sales.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Super cool. The problem is their fan base, they're selling hundreds of thousands of books. But when we last chatted, they only had about 5,000 people on a mailing list. That means they're selling product, but they're not building a business. They're chasing moneymakers. And I would never begrudge a person the money they're making. Ever, ever, ever.
Aren't a lot of those people too getting those off of page reads for Kindle Unlimited as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, exactly. And we're working right
Talk
now
about
on
putting on your
fixing
Etsy
that.
one basket.
Exactly. And there's no problem. I really don't see a problem with that. I mean, Amazon's opened up a really awesome thing that's
Mm-hmm.
worked for a lot of people.
Sure.
And I wouldn't begrudge authors that want to do that, but you do need to use that to build your business, or you won't be in
Right.
business when, not if, but when Amazon decides to make a shift.
Right.
So you could be making hundreds of thousands, or like Bella Forrest, millions of dollars a month, but she's doing it right because she's building her business
Right.
so that she can sell more products. Don't just
Right.
focus on selling the products.
And it's, again, to reiterate, it's not to say don't get involved in Kindle Unlimited. Okay, we're not saying that at all. Yes, it's a good thing. But imagine if that's the only way that you have an income. And then just like so many countless authors, when they were going through the original, they paid a certain percentage of money. People were writing small books for 99 cents, or I think they were selling them for 99 cents. They put those on the Kindle Unlimited. They were like 20,000, and they were only getting paid when someone read 10% of their book. So many authors cheated the system and wrote these little tiny books, put them out in little serials, and they made a ton of money. And then Amazon changed the game. All of their income plummeted. It hit rock bottom. And they all bitched, whined, and complained because Amazon changed the game. Well, it's their game. They can change the rules anytime they want to. But the authors that stayed afloat were the ones that had their mailing lists. That's how you stay above the marketing changes and the trends. You have your mailing list, and you still have those people to fall back on to sell your books. Obviously, I'm passionate about that.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, we're all kind of into this stuff. That was awesome. So, yeah, CK was like, let's see here. What about getting people to follow you on Amazon? What about getting people to follow you on Amazon? Yeah, sure. That's a wonderful tool. Here's the problem with that. You're building Amazon's platform so that they can decide to send you readers. That's the difference between what we're talking about. We're talking about building your thing, not their thing.
Amazon's thing.
Exactly, which is fine.
Again, there's nothing wrong with that because that's cool because Amazon sends out these nice little announcements every time you have a new release. That's great.
Right. You want to see the power of email? Look at Amazon.
Yeah.
They're like the biggest email whores out there.
Right. And if they decide, oh, guess what? We're not going to do that anymore. You're screwed because you didn't get to collect all those email addresses.
Exactly. Like, and so you're constantly at the mercy of Amazon for that stuff. And I get it.
We're teaching you to take, we're teaching you to take the reins back from the people like Amazon and the publishers and Facebook and all those people. We're giving you the control of your platform, not relying on them.
Right, because and that's one of the bigger problems that authors have is they think that they can coast on these distribution platforms, specifically like Amazon, in their good graces, and a lot of them have, and I've seen authors ride these algorithmic waves, and then all of a sudden things change, and they're like, oh my God, my book sales dried up. And I mean, we've been, just for example, I love vampire novels. That the paranormal book discovery site we do, that's been cooking since 2011, and we have like almost 4,000 authors who have worked with us, either actively or at some point. I've seen a lot. I mean, 4,000 authors is a big sample set, specifically in a genre like that. So I feel like there's a vantage point that I have on this to watch people come and go and watch why they go. Everybody comes in with the same sort of like big hopes, and some people do get lucky. And that's the worst thing that you can follow, because I see it in these author marketing groups all the time, is folks that have absolutely no concept of how to build a business, but they got lucky doing one thing that is going to work for a while, but then everybody flocks to them because they're making a ton of money and they're becoming successful. But then there are authors, and some of them were speaking at that Smarter Author seminar I went to, or workshop, I guess, that were phenomenal. They understood it. They did hit a good wave, and they leveraged that to actually grow their business. Instead of just, trying to sell more books and doing only that, they took 30-40% of the money they were making and reinvested it in their platform, reinvested it in their, building that reader base. And now they're not so concerned with the front end, because if you're just using paid ads to sell books, which works for some books, not all books, but if you're just doing that, you're always going to have an output. You're always going to have a massive outlay of money every time you want to do this. Whereas if you build your platform, you can realistically get away with spending less and making more. Like, look at movie launches, like Lord of the Rings, for example. There was a tremendous outlay of money with the marketing for the first movie. But then what they did was they built up their fan base, and they were able to speak directly to that fan base. And so for the second movie, their marketing budget was less than 25%, but it still blew up at the box office. So that's what you want to look at, is when you have that platform, you will never stop buying ads to grow your platform, but you can reduce that cost and keep that growth steady after a while. So that's something to think about. It's the art of building leverage in your business.
Right.
Okay, we got more questions here. Ingram Spark. My ebooks reside on Ingram Spark. How do I connect my subscribers to a free copy? From Bruce.
Do you have exclusivity? Like Amazon? Yes, no?
Oh, that was me muting myself. That's hilarious.
Okay.
All right. Nothing's come in yet here. Ingram.
Okay.
Oh, I know Ingram. Yeah. I know that.
Well, I don't think they're exclusive. So if that's the case, I mean, the best way, I personally think the best way to get a free book to somebody and also grab mailing list or email addresses is instafreebie.com. Now, Johnny is a big proponent of BookFunnel, and I know a lot of authors are. I tried using BookFunnel, and they don't seem to have a way of grabbing email addresses when they pick up the free book.
They do, but it's
a
different. It is a feature, but it's kind of a squirrely feature that you have to reach out and contact them for.
Okay.
It's changing. I've talked to the guy who owns the thing. The dude's awesome. It's one of those things where actually I kind of due to have a convo with him about
for $20 a month. For $20 a month, InstaFreebie will not only give you a platform to be able to distribute free books, unlimited, but when you can specify if you want this ebook, you have to give me your email address and say you are joining my mailing list, and then you can export all those CSV files and or those email addresses and put it in your mailing list. For the $20 a month, not only do you get that mailing list option, but if you have a MailChimp account, you can have it dumped directly into your MailChimp account.
Yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff. Oh, Ingram acts like an aggregator like Draft to Digital. So no, man, you're cool. You're cool. You can Yeah, that's not going to be an exclusivity kind of thing. And also, he said his book just was released from his publisher, so that's awesome. So it looks like you're in complete control of your life finally.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The only time that we recommend that you do not use a free, like Insta Freebie or something like that, is if you have a book with a contract with a publisher, or if you're in KDP Select. Now, you can use your 5 free days if you want to go through the painstaking, effort of planning those 5 free days every 90 days when your giveaway resets. Excuse me, when your giveaway does its reset, and then you start handing out stuff. The problem with that is twofold. One, you got all that planning to do. Two, people have to wait until those 5 free days are up before they can get their free book. If you have a book that you have complete control over and have the rights to as your EW gift, your Everybody Wins gift, you can put it on Insta Freebie. All of your messages can now go into an automatic campaign that says, as soon as I import a bunch of people into my giveaway list or my group on MailChimp, then they're going to get this first message that says, hey, thanks for joining my giveaway. Here's your free book. You don't have to worry about timing. You don't have to worry about doing it all at once. And they don't have to wait 3 months before they get their book. Okay? That's my recommendation.
Well, there you go, yeah. All right, cool. So let's see what else we have here. Guys, first of all, I have to thank you for all the questions. Like, this has been really great. I love it when people have like tons of stuff to ask here. Let's see. Awesome. Amy says her latest open rate was 48.8. That's excellent.
Sweet.
I love it because it's like 9
Yeah.
to 20-ish something percent.
It's 20 to 30% is industry standard.
Yeah.
And that's in our industry. That's in our industry.
Cool.
But we're doing well above that.
Awesome. So, guys, I think we're cool. That was, we definitely, we did a 2-hour jobby here. This was awesome. So let's get back to your stuff.
Next session is going to be talking about mailing list services and why they're so important. We're going to talk about, what features you need to look for, okay, in order to get this whole automated thing that we want to do, this whole automated thing that we want to teach you how to do. We're going to show you what mailing services will do that. Now, I'll give you the short answer right now, MailChimp. I hated them before, couldn't stand them. They were I always thought, oh, you're so expensive, blah, blah, blah. But boy, oh boy, the way that they have boosted up their automation and what you can do, I've been having a ball with them. Okay, they're really, really good. And because so many authors are using them, because they're so widespread use, things like Insta Freebie you can automatically dump into your mailing list and you don't have to do the whole export thing. There's a lot of services out there that tie in with MailChimp and make your life a lot easier. So, if you're on something else, it doesn't mean you have to switch to MailChimp. You're going to have to do some workarounds, though, because there's some things that MailChimp just does better than everybody else, and I ain't getting paid to say that. As a matter of fact, I was so being the advocate of telling everybody to get off MailChimp. And some of you may have heard me say that, but in my extensive research, I'm eating my words. MailChimp has actually impressed me like crazy. So there you go. Okay?
All right.
Same back time, same back channel. Next Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central, we will see you all back.
Awesome,
Sign
folks. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're out of here.
Cool. Bye.